Okay, so my name is Sierra St. Arnold. I am a silver consultant here, and I am going to be doing a Canva flyer. This is kind of one of the things I use that is not used for social media. So one of the ways that I market myself out in the real world and not on social media to get to all those people that are not on social media, things like that. If you guys have any questions as we go, just put it in the chat box and I will get back to it at the end because it's a little bit difficult for me to go back and forth. So I will answer those kind of as we go. Um, so basically, the first thing that I do is I just go up here once you're on Canva to create a design. And then I just create a custom size because I don't like to scroll through everything and then I know that it is the size that I want it to be. So you have to make sure if you're printing this on like regular printer paper, the 8.5 by 11 sheets, make sure that you change this to inches and not pixels or it will not be right. So 8.5 by 11, you just enter whatever size you want, and then you can hit create new design and it will just bring up a fresh template, fresh for you to start from scratch. If you want to, Canva does have several templates already made up over here on the left-hand side. So you can use these and tweak them to how you want them to be. But for me personally, I'm just going to be using the blank canvas and kind of making it myself just because I've already done this. So I kind of already know what I'm doing a little bit. And I will just say I make these very simple. I don't make anything extravagant because what I do is once I make them, I take them and I post them places. And I know for me personally, when I post stuff, I don't want to have to stop and stand there and read all kinds of stuff and then figure out how to get to it. I like to just be able to kind of pass by, glance at it, get what I need to get, and continue on, especially for the places that I do post these. And I will share that as well kind of once we make it. So for me, I already have my logo uploaded on here. All you have to do is hit upload media. And I use Canva for a lot of different things. So that's why I have all this stuff in here. So let me go through and find where my logo is. And I just go ahead and do it. And that's one of the biggest things that I put on here. I will just go ahead and put it in the center. I may kind of tweak it a little bit as we go, but I pretty much just put it in the very center of the page. And then you can go in and add text. They have tons of different fonts, colors, all kinds of stuff that you can do. So I just use add a heading. That's where I start with. And then you can go through and change your size. Like I said, the color, the font, whatever you want to do. So for me personally, I just like to put something like a question that kind of grabs their attention, and then you can make the font bigger so that when they're walking by, they're like, oh, vacation, like going on a trip, like that's something that's interesting. So I would the way I do it is so I'll just put like ready for a vacation, but I will separate the font so it's not just like all the same thing, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna go in here and pick like a cursive one. I don't really let's see. This one is cute. And then I will kind of just make another text box. You can just copy and paste it if you don't want to have to go back through everything. And then do vacation really big. But I don't like the way that this looks. I feel like it's kind of hard to read. So I go in and I'll just kind of look through these and see which ones I like. And you can always just click around, figure out what you like, what works best for you, what you think looks the best. I usually use something that's a little bit smaller and then I just make it bold and make it a lot bigger than what it is. So let's see. You have to be careful on this sometimes. If you are clicked in it and then you hit like bold or underline or something like that, it won't do it. So make sure you click off and you have the whole thing highlighted, and then I will just make it a little bit bigger. Add the question mark. And like I said, you can just kind of tweak this how you want to. So I may like rotate this a little bit so that it's a little bit smaller and fits a little better. And then vacation is super big. So when people are walking by, the first thing they see is the word vacation. And people love to travel. People love to go on vacation. So it's one of those things. It's like, oh, what is this? Like, let me read about it more. And then I have my logo here. And then you can also add, pictures of the beach or pictures of wherever you personally like to sell. But my only thing with that, the reason that I only do my logo as the picture is because once you print it out, it is a lot of ink if you put a whole bunch of pictures on here, and sometimes it doesn't come off as good once it's printed as it does on the computer. So that's my only caution with that. So I'll just kind of move this around to make it fit a little bit better. And then, like I said, I'll go in here and I'm going to put all of my information down here. So personally, I like to put all of my social media handles, my phone number, my email address. Those are pretty much the main 3 things that I like to put on here so that people know how to contact me. It's not just my logo and are you ready for a vacation? They're like, yeah. And then they don't know where to go from there. So I like to put on here how to contact you. There are several ways you can do this. So I don't like to just put a whole bunch of text because I feel like that's a little bit boring. So if you go into elements, you can search anything on Canva. So most social media logos are in here. You can do that. So you can add a little picture of a cell phone. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do the Facebook logo to start out. And so see, it automatically brings up Instagram and Facebook. So if you don't have Canva Pro, that is the paid version. I personally don't have that. So make sure you look out for the little crown in the bottom to see if it's free or not. So this one right here is the Facebook logo, and you can go in and add it. And as you can tell, it's not showing up. So you can go up here to this little color wheel, change the color. I just do black. I find that that's the easiest. And like I said, you can print it on pretty much any paper and it's going to show up. And I'll make it a little bit smaller. And then if you guys aren't familiar, let me move my stuff around. So if you guys aren't familiar, if you go on your Facebook page, you should have like an @ handle. So it's a little bit easier for people to find you. Let me pull mine up so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So right here, you should have like an @ handle, like I said. So this is what I use. So I'm just going to copy and paste. It's my Hidden Gems Travel and Excursions. And let's see. Move it. And then again, you can just copy and paste this and then paste in your, if it will work, you can just paste in your, it's not, so I'll just type it. Put in your @ handle, and then obviously I'm going to have to resize this because it is way too big and it doesn't fit. So this is one of those things you just kind of have to continue to play around with it, make sure it fits. And mine is super long. I didn't really think about that when I first started. And then I'm going to unbold it so that's a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to just do this really quick for right now. And then I'm going to go back in and kind of change stuff and make it fit and make it look a little bit nicer. I'm just going to go ahead and add in, as you can see, the Instagram handle. And then if you want to do like TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever you guys use, you can make it, your own. But this is the main 2 things that I use right now. I also use LinkedIn, but a lot of people, when they think about vacation, I don't feel like the first thing they're going to go search on is LinkedIn. So I don't put that on my flyers personally, but that is just totally personal preference. Like I said, my main things are my Facebook, my Instagram, and then if you go over here, you can do a phone and just pick whichever one you like the best. I just like the little simple one. And then you can put your phone number on here as well as your email address. And I don't know if you guys are noticing, but once you move it around, it'll give you these little purple lines. So it makes sure that everything is centered on each other just for like the aesthetics of how it looks. You don't just have stuff everywhere if that's what you prefer. And then obviously you can go in and resize everything so that they're all the same size, stuff like that. So I'm going to put my phone number in here. And again, I'm going to go back through in a little bit and make sure everything's even and all that good stuff. But just for right now, just to make sure I have all the information on there. And then for email, you can just go in and put a little envelope, the @ symbol. This one does move, so be careful when you're choosing stuff that it's not like a video graphic, because when you go to print that, I'm not sure how it will show up. So just be careful on that. So we'll just do this little envelope. And the reason that I leave the background on this white is I will show you guys once I finish, but I print it on colored paper. So I have one, it's like I have bright pink, bright purple. I bought a huge pack of like 100 sheets. It was like $3 at Walmart, super cheap. So I print it on there so that you have the super big word vacation, kind of catches people's attention. And then when all these other people have their stuff hanging up and it's all white pieces of paper, if you have like a bright blue or a bright orange or something like that, it's a lot more likely that someone's going to stop and look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here and do my email address. Again, mine is super long, so I need to go in and change that, but haven't quite gotten there yet. So we will make this a little bit smaller. And then you can also go in, these are the same size. So if you wanted to change them, you can always just copy and paste since they do say the exact same thing. So that is what I'm going to do. And then if you highlight multiple things, you can go up here to position and you can either have them all left aligned so they're all equal or all to the far left-hand side. The only thing with that is see how this has like this extra on the sides, it's gonna account for that. So if you wanted like this 9 to be under the @ symbol, then you just need to make it smaller. Super easy fix. And then you can go in and again, it'll show you that it's already aligned to the left, every single item in there. So I do the same thing with all of my logos. I'll go in and center them all on each other. Oh, not on the page, undo. Sorry, that one is, let's see, you'll want to do all that to the left. I got my logo in there. So this right here, as you can see, it has that purple line down the middle. So it shows you that it is centered with the page. That's one of my like OCD things. I want everything to be symmetrical. So that is what I do. And I'm going to go through and make all of these a little bit smaller as well, just because they're taking up a little bit more room, because I'm going to show you guys how to add a QR code on here as well, so that people can just put their phone up to it and then it can take them straight to your website. They don't have to worry about typing in any of this stuff. If they want to, obviously all that information is there, but they don't have to. I find that that makes it a little bit easier for some people, and it makes them a little bit more likely to actually visit your page and reach out to you and all that good stuff. So I'm going to select all of these, just align them to the left. And then I want these to be a little bit closer just because I like the way it looks. I think it's, and then you can just scoot it over. And then I always like to go in and group stuff together once it's how I want it. So I'm just going to play around with this a little bit more because I don't think that I like how it looks completely. You can move it around so that everything is just evenly. And then you can also use this down here to kind of scroll in and see it a little bit better if you're like, my computer screen is too small. This is what I do to make sure everything is exactly how I want it to look. Again, making sure all this stuff is centered with each other. I'm going to move all this down just a little bit to the bottom of the page. And you can also go in, group everything, and then if you group it, you can change the size of it all at once. So you don't have to do every little element. You can kind of go in and do it all at once and not have to worry about it anymore. I'm going to actually switch these two around. I'm going to switch this around since my email and is about the same size as all of this together. So you can group a couple items together. You can group everything together, just whatever you want to do. This is just how I find that it's the easiest to move all this stuff around and not have to go in and move every single little thing. But that, again, just personal preference. You guys do whatever is easiest for you. And then I'm going to scoop these up and over just a little bit. And you can also see how there's a little purple line. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but it shows that this Facebook symbol and the @ handle are symmetrical with each other. They're both lined up. That's just one of my big things that I try to do because I like the way it looks. So just playing around with it, getting it how you like it. I also have included on here before, if you have like a company slogan or something like that. Mine is, let us help you see the world, not just hear about it. So I could go in and add that on here as well. It just really depends on how much you want it to have like words on it, or if you just want it short, sweet, to the point. Again, just personal preference. The ones I've made before have had my little slogan on it. This one that I'm making right now does not, just because I just haven't added it on here. And I kind of like it with less words just because I feel like that is more attention grabbing than some other stuff. So let me look at the chat. Okay, I see you guys are having issues with your @ handle on Facebook, but was everybody able to find theirs? Anybody still need help with that? Doesn't look like anybody's having issues, so I will keep going. Let's see. And then if you want to add a QR code, I personally like to do it kind of over in the corner, not super big or anything like that, just because you don't want it to take up the whole thing, but you do want it to be big enough to where when they put their phone up to it, that they can actually scan it, that it actually recognizes it. So Canva, you can literally go over here to Elements and just type in QR code, and it should give you the option right here. You'll add a URL and it will create the QR code for you. So I'm just going to use my business website. If you have a link tree or something like that that has your Facebook, your Instagram, all that stuff linked on it, you can do that as well. If you don't want to add the QR code, of course you don't have to, but I just find it a little bit easier for people to be able to find you without having to search on all this stuff. So it brings it in really big, but I like to make mine a little bit smaller. Like I said, I don't want it to take up the whole thing, but I do still want them to be able to pick it up when they use it on their phone. So I'm going to go up here and make this just a tiny bit smaller so that this will all fit. And like I said, a lot of this is just tweaking it to make sure that all the stuff fits, that it is how you like it, all that good stuff. So I'm going to position this in the center. So the way I put my logo on it, if you have it saved on your computer or if you have the app on your phone, either way, you just go over here to uploads, upload media, and then it should let you upload any kind of PNG, JPEG, any kind of file that's an image. It should just let you upload that. And then you can just drag and drop it onto the screen. Or if you just click on it, I think it comes up as well. Let's see. Yeah, if you just click over in the images part, it'll just automatically put it on the page. So that is how I added that. Let's see. And then, like I said, I'm just going to move all this stuff around to see how I like it. And the good thing is, if you do something like I just did and you completely mess it up, you can just go up here and undo it and it automatically fixes it for you. So I'm going to group all this together so that it will move. And then I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Let's see. And then you can always add a little text box or something down here that says, you know, scan me or more info or something like that. So that's what I'm going to add on here. I'm going to, like I said, continue to use the same kind of fonts. That's just part of my branding that I've done. Every time I make flyers, I try to use the same fonts or something like that, so that whenever I'm posting stuff, people are like, okay, this is all the same business. Again, that is just personal preference. So you can put something like this. My dog is sleeping and making noises. And then if you wanted to go in and, you know, add little graphics for elements, if you wanted to do like an arrow or something, like so that they know exactly what they're supposed to scan. Most people know what a QR code is for, but some people don't. So you can always go in here and, you know, just play around with it, figure out what you like the best, all that good stuff. And you can always flip stuff. So if it's pointing the wrong way, just flip it the other way and you can go in, resize it. And then people will know, hey, this is what I'm supposed to scan. And like I said, I personally don't like to put the arrow because I just feel like it's a little bit cluttered, but you always can if that's what you prefer. And then, like I said, if there's any other slogans or anything like that that you want to do, but I like to keep mine short and simple, to the point. The QR code is, if you just go over to Elements, you just search it up here, you search QR code. And once you press enter, the first thing that pops up, it'll say use app, but if you just click on that, it will give you the option to put in your QR code. My QR code link is to my website. So it's my business website. All of my Facebook and stuff is linked on that website as well. So if you have a link tree, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but basically you can go in and put like your Facebook, your Instagram, your business page, whatever you want to link to. If you wanted to put links to like your affiliate links for like buy a tour or golden tickets, you can do that as well. You added your logo and it made it as a background. So if you just click on the background and you hit your backspace or your delete key, it should take it out. Try that, and if it doesn't work, let me know and I'll see if I can help you a little bit more. But yeah, my QR code, I just had it linked to my website. So you can have it linked to whatever you want to, but I just feel like my website or a link tree or something like that. Okay, so that did work for your background. So if you just go over and just like click on it, don't drag it into the background, then it should just bring it up without making it the full background. So try that and see if that works. And if not, we will figure it out. But that's usually what I do. I just click on it over here and then it just brings it up in the canvas or whatever you want to call it. So whenever I do these, like I said, I will just save them. I'm going to move this a little bit because this is up a little bit higher than I like it. Y'all, I'm like so OCD about stuff being evenly spaced out and all that good stuff. So it takes me a minute to get it exactly how I want it before I'm ready to actually print it and do all that good stuff. See, this all looks like it's off center to me. So I'm going to go in and change the size because I don't think that they are all the same size. I think that might be part of my problem. Then I'm going to position these. So all right, so once I am done and I get it exactly how I want it, again, I just leave the background white because my plan is to always print it on bright colored paper. Let me see if I can find one I did. So if you go up here to share, this is how you can save it and then print it. So if you go up here to share and then you hit download, it'll give you the option to change the file type. I always just leave it as a PNG. I don't really know the difference, I'll be completely honest. So that is what I do. I just save it how it says, and then you just hit download. And then it should just save it to your computer. Once it finishes, you can open it and save it somewhere else, depending on what kind of computer you have. I have a Mac, so I just go into show in Finder. And then you can always pull it up. It'll just pull up as a regular picture. So this is pretty much what it will look like when you print it. And then you can just print however many you want. Like I said, I use colored paper. So I will show you guys one that I made before. Like I said, this one, the one that I made previously did not have a QR code on it, and it had my little slogan. So it had a little bit more information on it. Let me see. Okay, PNG has a transparent background. There you go. Okay, so that is what you will probably need for these if you're going to print it on colored paper. If you're not going to print it on colored paper and you're just going to print it on white paper, then it doesn't matter. But since I printed it on colored paper, it is a good thing that I did the PNG, because otherwise it's going to use ink to print the white. So just be careful on that. So I'm going to stop screen sharing for a second just so you guys can see this a little bit bigger, hopefully. So this is the one I made previously. As you can see, it's on purple paper. So like I said, the pack that I got, it had purple, orange, bright pink, all that good stuff. So when I go to hang this up, it stands out a lot more than just a white piece of paper with a whole bunch of other white pieces of paper. And I have started carrying these with me everywhere. I have a stack in my car. I have some in my purse. I sent some to work with my husband. I carry around tape with me and a stapler because you never know where you're going to be able to hang it up at. So since we made this, I wanted to give you guys some ideas of where to hang it at, because like I said, if you have it and you don't know where to put it, then that's not really helpful. So I have hung them in so many places. So any kind of park, Optimus Park, recreation park, just like a community park, whatever that is, usually they have like bulletin boards, or they have something that you can hang up flyers. A lot of times they'll have sports signups, things like that. You can hang it on there. People will post jobs in there. So if you're a team builder, you can do flyers for that as well. Hang those up for people that are looking for, new positions, things like that. Let me get up my whole list here. Give me just a second, guys. All right. Another place is the post office. They usually have bulletin boards. I know I've hung mine up at our local post office. Every city has a post office, so take it to all your surrounding cities, hang it up there. If they don't have a bulletin board, I live in a super, super small town. Literally like 60 people live in this specific city. So we don't have a bulletin board. I just taped it to the wall and they are still there a couple weeks later. So that's why I carry the tape around, because you never know where you're going to find to hang it and you don't have like tacks or something. So I just carry around some Scotch tape, tape it up, and then you don't have to worry about it falling off. You don't have to worry about it getting lost or something like that, and then it getting put in the trash. So I hang it up on the wall at the post office. I have also gone to the mall or like retail stores where you buy clothes, stuff like that, where you have to try stuff on, where there's fitting rooms. I put mine on the back of the door in a fitting room, taped it up there. The reason I put it on the back of the door, I don't actually know if you're allowed to do that, but my motto is kind of like do it and then ask permission later. So if somebody were to take it down, it is what it is. Hopefully a couple people saw it, but I hang it on the back of the door because I used to work in a store like that. We would go in and we would clean the dressing rooms out. So when they go to open the door, if it's on the back of the door, they're not going to see it to take it down. But everybody that goes in that fitting room is going to see it. So that is another place that I have put it. Do we need to ask if we're allowed to hang up? I personally don't. That's kind of like what I said. I do it and then ask permission later. So like I said, I just go ahead and put it up and then I don't know. There are some places I'll get to that I do recommend asking before you hang stuff up. So places like the library, I know one of my local libraries does not allow us to put stuff up that is for profit. So since this is something that will make me money if someone were to book with me, they did not allow me to hang it up at the library, but I just handed it to the lady at the desk, and then that's somebody that has heard about my business now. So even though I couldn't hang it up for hundreds of people to see, at least I gave it to that one person. So places like libraries ask about that. I know like the post offices and the parks, you don't have to ask. That's literally what the bulletin boards are there for, is for announcements and business advertisements and stuff like that. So how did you tilt the text? So when you click on, when you're making the flyer, if you click on the text box, not like you're going to actually change the text, but just click on it once, there should be like a little circle that shows like an arrow, and you just click that and then you can move it around. I hope that helped, Kelly. If it didn't, if you can't figure it out, let me know and I'll share my screen again and show you guys how I did it. But as far as sharing it, I'll kind of go back to that list. So another place that I'll put it on the back of the door is in bathroom stalls, family bathrooms at the mall, stuff like that. They won't move. Okay, let me share my screen again and see if I can help you. So I just clicked on it. I can't type anything. It just has the box around it. Right here, there's an arrow. It should just let you move it around like this. If it's not working, you may have hit this lock button over here to where you can't move it. So make sure that it's not locked. Did that work? Did you get it? Okay, awesome. Alrighty. So like I said, the back of bathroom stalls, you know, if you're using the bathroom and then you see right there, you're sitting there until you're done using the bathroom, as gross as that may be to some people, you're in there, so you're seeing it. Why not put it there? Because that is eye level with people. They have no choice but to look. Where did you get your QR code? If you go to elements in the search bar, you should just be able to type in QR code, and then it'll give you the option to enter your website or whatever you want to link it to. How do you print your flyers? So on mine, I just go over here and I hit file, and then it gives me the option to print. So I just print them at home. If you don't have a printer, I have also printed them at my full-time job. Use their paper. They have bright pink paper there. I've done that. I also have printed them at the library. If you don't have a printer, that's always an option. You can print them at the library. That's why I like to do the PNG with the white background, because then you can take the paper, and that's why I also just leave everything black, and then the only color is my logo, because it doesn't use a whole lot of ink. I know ink is super expensive. So do I have a video on how to create your business cards? I personally do not. I did create my business cards on Canva, but I think there was a training on that yesterday. So ask in the group chat, they may have recorded that. I believe someone did it yesterday. I don't know if they did it on Canva or not, but there was a business card training. I believe it was yesterday. So ask in the group chats and they may be able to get you that. But I did make my business cards on Canva. I can show you guys what my business cards actually look like. So give me just a second. I use Canva for literally everything. I use it for flyers, business cards. I have some stuff that I post in networking groups that I've used, all kinds of stuff. I use it for everything. And I also have a YouTube channel, so I use it for stuff like that. Let me see here. Let me share my screen with you guys again. So this is my business card. I have a double-sided business card. So on the front, it's just my logo. And then on the back is where I have all my information. And again, I just have my 2 main social medias, my phone number and my email. And then I have the Archer logos and stuff like that down here. They're super small, but they still show up pretty well on my business cards. So that's why I don't make them super big. I just put them in the corners. And then of course it has my name and that I'm a travel agent. So I did make those on Canva. This background, I just found it in Elements, or it might have been in Photos actually. So I just went in and typed in like ocean or something like that, and it came up, and then I just made that the background to make it a little better than just being like plain white or one plain color. So I did also make my business cards in Canva, but I do not have a video on how I did that, so I'm sorry. I may do that in the future though. Computer problems. Where will this recording be posted? It'll be posted on YouTube. I'm not sure whose channel it will be posted on. It won't be on mine. I may have Jody Wilwiski post it on hers if I can get it to her. But I will send it out in all the group chats for everybody to send to their teams as well. Okay. Some other places that I post it, if you go to the gym, you can post it in the locker rooms and stuff like that at the gym. Depending on if it's like a franchise or a locally owned gym, those are the type of places that I typically ask if I can hang it up. If it's like a locally family owned business, because they're also trying to make it, a lot of times they don't care. I haven't found any yet that have said, no, I can't hang it up there. But those are the places I would probably strongly recommend asking, especially if it's another small business like in your town, just asking if they're okay with it. And if a lot of times they'll give you like a specific spot that they want you to put it. So I have done it in restaurants in my town. Again, those are all the ones I put it in have been family owned. So they had like a specific spot at the cash register that they wanted me to put it. But those are the places I would ask in like small businesses in your town. If you still work a full-time job, I know that I do. If this is like your side gig right now, put it in the break room at your full-time job. Let the people that are working with you know that you are a travel agent. So I'm friends with most of the people in my direct department on Facebook. So I invited them onto my business page, but there are other people on our floor that I don't know their names. I don't know who they are. If they passed me on the street, they probably wouldn't even know that they work with me. So I hung it up in the break room next to the fridge and the microwave and where people are making their lunches and stuff like that. Another really good place to put them is in the elevator, whether it be at your job, at a doctor's office, the hospital, wherever you are in an elevator, put it in there, because that's another one of those things. It's like people don't have a choice but to look at what's around them when they're in the elevator because they're waiting until they get to the next floor. So that is a really good spot that a lot of people will see it is in elevators. Colleges have elevators. You can put them in there. A lot of colleges have like food courts or like their dining hall. If you have kids that are in college, send them to put out some flyers for you. Like I said, I have my husband carry stuff around. He put one in his break room at work. He put one on the entrance and exit door at his job. And I actually had somebody reach out to me from that. She was like, oh, your wife's a travel agent? And he was like, yeah. And she has reached out to me for a trip. So it does work. If you can get other people to put your name out there, let them, because you're going to reach way more people than if you're just trying to do it yourself. So send it to school with your kids, give it to their teacher, be like, can you put this in the break room at the school or in the gym at the school or the front office or whatever it may be that is at the school where people are coming in and out, people are going to see it. A lot of times schools don't care. I have sent mine. My best friend works at a school, so I sent mine in with her. She hung hers up in the break room. Again, I had one of the teachers that worked there actually message me right before I got on this call asking if I could help them plan a trip. So put it at schools. If you go to church, some churches will allow it. Again, this is maybe one of those places that you would want to ask. I know a lot of churches have like bulletin boards. Sometimes those are not for small business advertising, but you can always ask, somebody in the church or the preacher or whoever, hang it up on there, put it in the pews at church where people are going to sit, pass them out. That's another thing at colleges. I have a school not too far from me. They have like a farmer's market, a vendor's market. So I don't set up a table there, but I can go there and pass out these flyers, just get them out to people. And even if they don't necessarily use it, they may know somebody that will. They may not use it right away, but if they have your information and then they come across it at a later time, they may be like, okay, now I'm ready to plan a trip and I already have the information. I don't have to worry about finding somebody or something like that because they already have it. So that's, I think, a big thing is not necessarily expecting 500 people to reach out to you as soon as you start posting them. A lot of times people will get your information and they'll save it. So I have had people follow me on Facebook or like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and they've just kind of been watching what I've posted because they don't need my services yet. But then they reach out and they're like, oh, well, I've been following your page for a couple months now. And, I want to go on a trip now. So now I'm ready, can you help me? So it's not necessarily going to bring immediate service and immediate business, but just getting your name out there is one of the most important things. And I think this is easy. You literally can just go around, tape it up, and leave. You don't have to necessarily have a conversation with anybody. And then if somebody sees what you're doing, be like, hey, here's a flyer. I just checked the group so far. There's no video on how to create business cards. I will see about doing one next month. I know, like I said, someone just did one, I believe yesterday. And then somebody said Destiny Prater has a video on business cards on YouTube. So I don't have the link to her YouTube channel, but I'm sure somebody probably does in the group messages. So just reach out. Like I said, they just did it yesterday, so it may not be posted yet if they did record it. So just kind of wait on that. I know sometimes it takes a couple days for them to get it up. And then I'm trying to think some other places that I have hung them up. Like I said, restaurants, breweries. We have a couple breweries around here. I've hung them up there. Places like that. And even places that you think, oh, nobody's here. If you see a whole bunch of flyers hanging up, go and put yours up. I mean, it's that easy. Literally, I carry around tape all the time. I hang them up everywhere. I have a stack probably this thick in my car, just like waiting to be put up. I have sent them with my mom. My mom has put them at her job. My dad owns his own business, so he hung it up in his office, stuff like that. Local chamber of commerce also helps. Exactly. Go ask them, can I hang up a flyer? I know a lot of times to join the chamber of commerce, you have to pay for it or someone has to sponsor you. But if they're willing to just let you hang up a piece of paper, that's better than nothing. So just ask people if that's what you feel more comfortable doing, is asking people if you can hang it up, then do that. Like I said, back of doors everywhere, entrances and exits, at restaurants, at their cash register, places like that. At the post office, if they don't have a bulletin board, taping it to the wall, taping it to a spot where people are looking through their mail, stuff like that. Parks are great because, especially Optimus parks, bathrooms, dressing rooms, all that good stuff. So, okay. Amber linked the YouTube video. I'm assuming that's for the business cards for you, Mary. So check that out. That is probably a great resource. I know Destiny does a really awesome job of trainings. So do you guys have any questions? I know I went through that probably pretty quick. Do you guys have any other questions about creating flyers, how to do certain things, printing it, places to hang it, anything like that? If you have any questions, just let me know. And I don't know, if it lets you guys unmute, you can unmute. If not, I'll change the settings if you guys want to say something.
I use Canva all the time for everything. That's how I make a business card. It is super easy, but I'm glad you said something about going and buying the packs of the colored paper, because I done went through like 2 things of ink and they're $74 each.
Oh yeah, that's why I do it that way, because ink is so expensive and the black ink seems to last a lot longer.
Yes.
Printing a whole paper. So I had them left over from my wedding invitations. I made my wedding invitations on Canva too. So I use it for literally everything. So yeah, I just save it as a PNG. Then it gives you that transparent background. And when you go to print it on the color paper, you don't have to worry about it printing that big white square.
Right.
It shows it on the colored paper. And then, like I said, it stands out a lot more than putting it with all the other white colored pieces of paper. So
yes,
I like it that way.
Yeah, I like it too. That's a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions or anything? If not, that's pretty much all I had for flyers as far as the business goes. Like I said, I have one for my team building ad too. I can show you guys if you guys are interested. That one took me a lot longer to make because I had a lot more stuff to put on it. But yeah, I use Canva for everything. It is so easy to use. Can you show where you got the FB and Instagram logos in Canva? Yes. So let me share my screen one more time. So if you go over to elements on the left-hand side, in the search bar, I just typed in Facebook or Instagram or whatever you're wanting to use, and it will bring up different options of the logo. Same for Instagram. I believe for TikTok, it does the same thing for LinkedIn. Pretty much any social media, you can just type it in the search bar under elements and it will bring up the logo. And then if, like I said, if you wanted to do Facebook logo, be a little bit more specific, it may bring up some other options. So if you don't like the solid colored ones, then you can always do this, like the Instagram one I know is colored. Facebook is obviously the blue. If you prefer those, you can do that. But I just do black or one solid color just for ink purposes. So for saving ink and all that good stuff. Alrighty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If nobody else has any questions, then that is going to be all for this training. Like I said, I will send out the video to all the teams once it gets posted. So be on the lookout for that. It may be a couple days before they get it up, but are you able to store your photos? Yes. So whenever you upload a photo to Canva, it automatically stays in there unless you delete it. So that's why you could see I had so many. It'll stay on there, so you can access it from anywhere that you log into Canva, whether it be on a computer, on a phone. Can we see your team building picture? Yes. Let me find it and I will show you guys. On the team building one that I have, I did use a template and I just kind of tweaked it to how I wanted it to look. So give me just a second. And I will find it. So, all right. So I just did this one. Whenever I did my team building post, a lot of times when I post this, it's on Facebook. Are you guys able to see this? Okay. So this, it just says, join our team, and then it has some pertinent information and then ways to apply. I just put, my phone number. They can message me on Facebook, or I have it also linked to my business page, because I do have a page on there that is all about team building and stuff like that. It just has a link to my Calendly. So this I did make from a template, and then I just kind of tweaked it. Like I said, I added this photo in, but all of these arrows and the curve and everything like that were already on here. I just went in and added some text, and then I will post this into, I posted it on LinkedIn before, because sometimes when my jobs aren't posting fast enough, I'll post this on LinkedIn and then I'll just put some hashtags. I have had some pretty good success doing that. This is also what I post into Facebook groups, because I feel like it's a little more eye-catching than just a bunch of words. So I'll put in there, that my business is looking for business partners or looking for new agents or whatever, and then I have this picture that has all the information on what it is and how they can get in touch with me to learn more, stuff like that. So I'll post it there. I have also posted it on my Instagram with the same caption that I post on Facebook. I've posted it to my personal page before. I'm trying to think, where else have I posted it? I think that's pretty much the main places that I use it. But yeah, I'll just post this into groups. And like I said, I'll just be like, we're looking for new agents, and we would love to work with you. And then you don't have to put anything else, because it's all right here. And it's a lot easier for me to just upload the picture than to have to copy and paste all this and format it and everything like that over and over and over again. And again, I feel like a lot of times with having a picture, people are more likely to click on it and reach out and actually read what it says than if it's just a big long list of, this is what we do and this is our perks and this is what it is. I feel like it's a little more eye-catching to have the bright colors and a picture and all that good stuff. So this is what I have been using for the past couple of weeks. I just recently made it. So I may go in and tweak it a little bit to have a few less words, because this is still kind of a lot. But this is what I have been using recently. I was just using LinkedIn and not really doing anything else, but try to expand that a little bit more. So this is what I use now. If you guys want to take a picture of it or whatever, I just ask if you do something similar to this to make it your own. Don't make it exactly the same as mine. Make it a little bit different. So that is my only request on that. But alrighty, if nobody has any other questions, then I thank you guys for being on this training. And if you guys have any other questions, you can always find me in the chats and ask all that good stuff. And I will have that video posted hopefully within the next couple of days. I'll be able to get it out. Okay. So I hope you guys have a good day. You guys are so welcome. And I hope that this helps you grow and gain some more clients. Just share it. Like I said, don't be a secret agent. Post it everywhere that you can. Don't be shy. I hope you guys have a good day and I will see you soon.